All right, Lacy Teal, thank you so much for being on Beyond the Boudoir with me today in the midst of moving, and you have 45 minutes. So thank you so much for being on with me today. Just for the listeners, a little bit of background on Lacy and I. We met, what, a year ago? A
Yeah.
year ago, like probably this month, because it was the Bachelorette month in September for Kaylee. I think people won't be surprised because when I brought my glam team on, I took each one of them out on a date because I was just trying to build a team. And I'm like, I'm just gonna be me. I'm just whatever. And
Yeah.
they were like, I've never done this before. Nobody randomly has ever asked me just to like go out for dinner. And that's how I built my team. And I think it was a good way to do it. But that's kind of why when I walked into your suite at the time, I was like, is she gonna think I'm super weird that I just want to be friends?
I always say I have people in my life that I've met that I swear I was friends with in a different life.
Right?
Literally. And I swear we were friends in another life.
I'm like, I walked in and you just matched my studio. I would take you out on a date and try and wine and dine you to add you to my team. Like I was like, I just love this girl, and Kaylee's just like, here she goes, making friends with everybody, just like she usually does. So I'm so glad we met, and I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly how it felt. I was like, not deja vu quite, but I feel like we've been friends. Like we're just friends.
Your name and phone is Raquel, my soul sister.
Stop it. That's so cute. I'm gonna have to come up with a really cute name for you
Yeah.
now.
Better change it. Don't leave me hanging.
I'm not gonna leave you hanging. So that's a little bit of history on us. We met and it was love at first sight, and I haven't left you alone since, which is, I think, the best way. And like I said, I'm so glad you wanted to hop on because I wanted to podcast because naturally, organically, well, we just meet clients and stories. I have so many stories that I
Mhm.
know, and obviously nothing ever leaves the room. But I think people, no matter how you want to look at it, whether you go to church or you go to the bar, everyone's always looking for community, and people just want to be seen and they just want to be heard. Podcasting is so easy now, right? This is just an app. So it's been 3 years. I've been saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So here we are finally doing it. And I don't know, it was just a really fun way to be able to connect with people and share that beyond the boudoir studio. So that's kind of what this is. And I'm a little nervous putting anything out there because if I can't put subpar photos out there, I can't put subpar videos out. Like I don't know. So it's 3 years later. Here we are. Finally, you're gonna drop on my birthday. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so that too. Love that. But you have
I
to
know.
like there's so much value in the messy also because I
For
feel
sure.
I'm very perfectionist and I overthink like what I'm going to post, what I'm going to put out there like a lot. But what I've noticed is the messier things that I post, I think people relate to more. So I
Absolutely.
yeah, I love that you're doing this and just going for it and I feel like even if it's chaos, like we all live in a little chaos, right?
Exactly, exactly. And that's funny you said that about Instagram. When I started, was I think Instagram, obviously it goes through its own phases of what
Mhm.
is like appealing at the moment, but everything was so cookie cutter
Yeah.
on Instagram. It was so pick a color and that's what the color was. And I'm like, but I think people now, you don't go to social media to necessarily look at all of the ugly, but a little bit of real in there is important. So that's also why I wanted to do this. I get a lot from people who meet me for the first time that, oh, I thought you were going to be so intimidating. I'm like, I swear I'm not. Unless you put this stuff out there, you give people a little bit of who you are. It's important. So I agree. I definitely agree. Oh, have we renamed your studio? Or are you still Estrella Beauty Co?
Unico, yeah. It's funny you ask. It's hard because I named my business that so many years ago, and I feel
Hmm.
like my business has evolved and changed, but it's hard to do a rebrand because,
No, absolutely.
right? Not everybody will see your rebrand announcement. And then there's going to be people who are looking for you and can't find you and all of those things. At this point, ever since I started doing runway, I feel like I would love to market myself more as like an individual than as like a company, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. But we're kind of like in too deep. Well, yes, I'm still Estrella Beauty Co. And the reason I named it that is the area that I live in Arizona
Uh-huh.
is a mountain. And I used to do cut and color in this area. So I've been a
Okay.
yes, like forever. So, and I named it that basically like so people in this area would know that there's someone in this area doing cut and color, things like that. And then it just kind of stuck. I mean, it's a mountain range here in Arizona. Anything goes. You can name things, a Spanish word, a Native American word, anything like that is going to be popular in Arizona because that's what everything,
Right.
right? So, but yeah, that's interesting you asked. As far as the studio goes, yeah, we're still in Estrella Beauty Co, but I'm still kind of I'm toying with the idea of maybe something else in the future. We'll see.
Okay. Well, and I think that's valid, one, because who not you can't capture all of your clientele on social media, even if they follow you, because algorithms are crazy.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is something to be said for recasting vision and rebranding yourself. But I feel like you have to, it's with anything in the business. If you can sleep at night, it's great. If you're wrestling with it, it's time to change. I just thought I'd ask because I'm like, I know she does this, but I know she's doing runway now. So I was like, you're a beautiful little butterfly. What are we rebranding as? But that's fair. So something in the future, perhaps. Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. And just when we became best friends last year, I realized how much I didn't actually know about you on a personal level, which is fine, but I know you're married. I know you have one daughter. Do you have husband, more than one kid? How long have you been married?
It okay, so it's so funny that you even say that because I am very much everybody tells me everything about them, right? And I'm a good listener and I love to learn about people and I'll ask a million questions and they're genuine because I'm like one of those people I want to know everything and about everybody.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, right? I feel like you understand that. So a lot of people don't know a lot about me. When I really sit down and think about it, like most people don't know my birthday, like things like that. Most people don't. And I'm okay with that. It's kind of like who I am. But yes, I'm married. My husband and I got married in 2023.
Okay.
So we're going on 3 years. I have two kids. I have two teenagers. And I feel like that always surprises
Teenager.
people.
It does because I'm like, but you're 25. What do you mean you have
Exactly.
two teenagers?
So they were gifted to me. I'm just kidding. Next question is always how old are you? So I'll be 40 in January.
You're gonna be 40?
Yes, friend.
Well, and I think I never ask a woman or anyone how old they are. I'm always like, so how young are you? Because
Mhm.
I feel like the older I get, the better it just gets. So I never look at it as like, oh my God, I might have a panic at 40. Might. 42 is my scary age. So 40, that's a whole other like segue of questions like, what are we doing? Where are we going?
Literally. I know that you and I have been trying to get this like Backstreet Boy thing. I would
Oh
love
my gosh, Vegas.
yes, I would love Vegas for my 40th. But my friend Kat had a really good idea too. And she's like, what if we did a big girls trip to New Orleans? And I'm like,
Ooh, okay.
okay, I kind of like that too. We'll have to touch base on this again because I'm like, oh, I like that too. But Vegas, especially for us West Coast, it's so easy.
So easy. And it's usually if Vegas, I love because you can do it big or you can be on a budget and still have just as much fun, you
I
know?
feel like I've had more fun in Vegas the times when I was broke.
Yeah, it's like everyone got a Groupon and we stayed at the Luxor and we're like, why are we at the Luxor? But it was $50.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like, yeah, I'm a little scared, but it's also fun. Yeah, no, I love it. So yeah, so Sean and I have been married for going on 3 years. And then my daughter just turned 17 in August. So she's a senior this year. And then my
Oh
son,
my,
I know, right? He's 13. He'll be 14 in November. So yeah,
wow. So you have one fresh teenager and one who's almost
yeah,
about to not be a teenager.
yeah, exactly. But it's really funny because I feel like people talk so much. Can we cuss? No?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I feel like people talk so much shit about having like teenagers or like when their kids were oh my God, it was horrible when my kids were. I love having teenagers. They're my people.
We are the same. I was never the mom who, first of all, I was never the woman who thought she would have kids necessarily.
Really, that's a
I know. Well, I wanted to be a theater major. Like I wanted to act and I wanted to maybe get married, but definitely wanted a career. But that just wasn't,
mhm,
especially in a small town. And family is wonderful. I'm not saying it's not, but I was just like, I knew I wanted a career
mhm.
and I knew I might want to get married. That was like kids were never on my radar. And I feel like that has a lot to do with when if you find the right person or you just grow and things change and that's fine. But it's interesting because the baby stage for me, I did not love being pregnant. It was a way to get the baby. I was not attached to that in any way, and it was just not the popular, it's not even an opinion. It was just not what most women in my circle felt. So I never actually like felt like I could say it out loud, but my kids are 10 and 6, so I'm finally at that. Every stage is hard, but pick your hard. I
Totally.
know how to verbally communicate with my kids now, like they can talk. So for me, I'm so excited for the teenage years. I was a very unique, I swear I've been 40 forever. So I'm like, maybe myself isn't my best gauge because I think I'm not normal.
Mhm.
But I'm like, okay, Lord, we're just gonna we take it as it comes. But I love my kids being older. I love not carrying a diaper bag. I love that Disneyland is so much fun now and all those things. So that's an interesting point of view. But why do people talk so much shit? I don't understand.
Get it either. Like I know there's like the attitude and stuff like that, but I don't know. I guess maybe my kids are chill. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's like who they are as people, but um it's really like you said, like they talk more now and then once you get in the teenage years, it's not just that they can talk, they can properly communicate.
Absolutely.
So it's like and I was never one and I feel like you were probably like this too. I never baby talked my kids because I feel like kids are so much smarter than we give them credit for even when they're little, even when they're like toddlers. Like they're smart and they're absorbing everything and I was always like I just like talk to them like people. Uh
Absolutely.
yeah, and I feel like that's just like what our relationship has always been and like so like when things are hard or if they're going through something, it's just easier to be like, "All right, bruh, what
Yeah.
are we going
Oh my
through?"
gosh, that is my name in this house, and it's also my name for them. But I feel like we're millennials, right? We are both millennials. I feel like there are some people in the category where I'm like, please don't put me in this category with you. Like I can't. On the younger end of the millennial, but and generationally, I wish my mother had leveled with me, not like to compromise for anything, but she and I were mother and daughter always. So and when you grow up out of that child, like being a kid, it's really fun because then you should just level out and be best friends with your parents. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And she and I, like, we are, but because she's my mom, I never think to, hey, mom, you want to go to lunch? Hey, mom, like, I never think about her that way, but she never leveled with me that way. So I feel like now we're trying to cultivate, and it's not weird. It's just, oh, like we can be friends now. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But I try so hard. I mean, my mom card's in my back pocket if I ever need it because I'm your mother first, but I try to level with my kids. I don't
Mhm.
know if that's even the right term or phrase to say, and not in a way where, because some people, well, you can't just be friends with your kids. I'm like, I think we should be friends with our kids because who do they confide in once they get to a certain age? Their friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think maybe we're not an unpopular opinion. Maybe we are just, I also feel like I am not one to give unsolicited word vomit, period. My mother, she's working on it, but I think it's very generational to just
I
drop
totally
the unsolicited word vomit. If
Mhm.
I don't have anything to say that would contribute, and I just don't say it. So I think we're in a group that just is like, we're chill, we're laid back, and I don't need to be shouting it from the rooftops either. So I think we're doing okay. I think we're okay.
I think you're right too. Very much just the generational divide.
Absolutely.
We are just more so we care less about what other people think than our moms did. They
Yeah,
so much about what the family thought and what this person thought, what that person thought, and we're more so just like we're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna do it this way, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the older I get, I feel like it's not even so much because when people say, I don't care what you think, we care. We want people to perceive us the way we want to be perceived. And I feel like as long as I'm putting that out there, everything else is just whatever. But
Yes.
also, my mom, I'm like, yeah, but women's rights, I'm like, I feel like you were also in a time where women, we got married because that was our only option.
Yes.
And I don't knock it because I love all of the older, romantic Disney stories, but that was very real. So I'm trying to be compassionate on this side because they didn't know any better, and not and try to be a good mom on this side with how I just stand firm in who I am. And I think it's going okay. Nobody's in the corner eating their hair. Nobody's, it's going good so far.
No, breakdowns. We're
But how having 2 teenage kids,
Mhm.
and you're gonna be, oh, 40 and fabulous. I love that for you. But you still had kids young.
Yeah.
When did you start? So you said you started with cut and color. When did you start? Do you still do cut and color?
I've circled back to color.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So next time you're in
When did all of that start for you as far as this is what I want to do with my life? I figured it out.
Okay, so I come from a cosmetology family. So it was
Okay.
there. So my aunt does hair and she has always been a beauty school instructor. My mom did nails and then my other aunt did facials. So any holiday, like somebody was getting their hair done in the kitchen.
Trifecta right there, man.
The smell of perm was through
Oh
the
my God.
spirit, like, growing up. Somebody was getting a perm, the men were getting haircuts on the porch, like, we were just, like, a beauty family, and it's funny because for a while, I kinda pulled away from it. I didn't want it. I didn't wanna just, like, fall into what was expected of me.
Right.
So, when I was little, of course, I wanted to be a ballerina because, like, who didn't, right?
Who didn't?
Yeah, and then I wanted to go into fashion, actually, but it was just one of those things, like, honestly, being from Arizona, not in a fashion state.
Community
Yeah,
necessarily? Yeah.
yeah. I woulda had to leave, and I was there for it, I just didn't have the support, just being totally honest. I didn't have the support. Have you ever heard when people talk about, like, scared parents? Have you
Yeah.
heard? Yeah. So I had, like, scared parents.
Oh, okay.
Like, "Oh my god, you can't do that. What are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't leave because I wanted to go to California. "You can't leave. You can't go to California. Like, what are you talking about? You can't do that by yourself." Now, like, I'm so fiercely independent, I'm like, "I could have done that." You know what
You
I
could
mean?
have done that, and it's so
Yeah,
sad that your parents were scared parents for you, but maybe they didn't have it was just what you did. You didn't do certain things, and I feel like they just didn't question it either, which I feel like there's something to be said for that, but, like, don't make me scared. You're jet setting all over now.
totally circling back to that, like, generational thing, like, they just passed down everything that was passed down, passed down, passed down, but it is what it is. I'm so happy with where I ended up. I do feel like it was by design. So, basically, like, after high school, I worked some whatever jobs because I had that turmoil of, like, I love being creative, I love hair, I love makeup. Everybody would always ask me to do their hair and makeup for them, but I didn't wanna, like, just fall into line. And
Right.
then yeah, like, about a year after high school, I finally was like, I tried real estate and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, "I hate this." I hated real estate. I was horrible at
I could see you selling anything, but real estate, that's so much work. I
it's
have friends that are real estate agents. I'm like,
not only that,
"No,
it's like math and things that I
it's math and it's probably some laws and answering questions about property tax and just things you have to there's always continuing education, but you have to want it to be the continuing education you actually want to learn about.
yeah, exactly, and there I had 0 passion. I was doing it just to do it, I had no passion. So anyways, I finally went to beauty school. So I did cut and color for, like, 15 years before
Wow,
I transitioned full-time into bridal and freelance, and basically it was just a timing thing, and there's so much to be said about timing in business.
absolutely.
Literally, like, it could be the right move for you, it could be everything you've ever wanted, but if the timing's not there, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I feel
No
like
other
people
way.
don't you have to sit in that sometimes because I'm like, spiritual or not, religious or not, everything has timing and you need to learn how to just wait sometimes. I think, especially in today's society where everything is available to you 24/7, we have lost the ability or whatever you want to call it to just sit and wait. And I think being a business owner in general, I give myself a 2 to 5 year plan. I'm in year 5, and now I'm like, I have clients that because at first you network with your network, right? I networked my sister's network so hard when I started, but now it's people are just finding me, which is so, I feel like, but you had to give up or even sacrifice certain things. I feel like people don't want to do that. And I'm like, sacrificing 5 years of whatever I'm used to doing, whether it's going out or spending money or it's just 5 years. I'm like, if you can just hone in and wait or just really dig in deep, it happens. So I'm so glad you touched on that.
Well, I'm so glad that you touched on that too, because that was so well said. Sorry, my phone's dying. I had to go grab my charger,
No,
so
no, you're good.
you
You're
might have
good.
to you might have to edit that out. I was not prepared.
No,
No,
it's
I'm so
okay.
glad. I love everything that you just said so much because it's so true. We're a now society. We are
Yes.
a I want this and I want it right now. I want it right this second. And so
Yes.
people don't know how to take their time, wait for a better opportunity sometime. You know what I mean? And I also think
Exactly.
people get scared. I think people
Sure,
get
for sure.
scared. Yeah. And they're like, okay, if I don't get this right now, I might not get it at all. But that's not always the case.
No, and that's not a good way to look at anything,
Anything.
especially when it comes to things like, well, business. I mean, it can be the most exciting fail of your life if you want it to be, but things like marriage
Yeah.
or even a car, I'm like, there are certain things it's valid to just say out loud, but if you say it out loud, then it's real and you don't want it to be real.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said for waiting and not, but just if I didn't ride out 5 years, I would have quit year two because it
Yeah.
was really like, and nobody sees you crying in the studio by yourself while you're painting the walls for the fifth time.
Nope.
And I don't need people to. That's not even what I'm sometimes I see people get on camera and cry. I'm like, what are you doing? Makes me
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It's cringy.
I
But
hate it.
nobody needs to know all that. It's part of the experience, the humbling experience. And if anything is just handed to you,
Mm-hmm.
great. But for personal and business, there's something to be said about just digging in and doing the hard work because you should be also the most humble person with the clout. And I don't know, there's just a way to carry yourself. And you can see it business owner to business owner who actually did the work and who was either it was handed or maybe it was easier. Maybe they just got lucky. I don't know. But I think there's something to be said for work. So you finally got into beauty school, you finally did it after real estate.
Right. After my real estate flop, we we went on from that. So yeah, so like I said, I did 15 years of cut and color. Then during that 15, I was doing bridal too, but it was on a much smaller scale. Like cut and color was my first job, bridal was like my second, right? And
And now I feel like it's flopped. Has it
uh,
flopped?
yes, basically, and just like side note on all of that, for some of those years I was married, for some of those years I was a single mom. So there was definitely like points where there was actually a lot of points where I would have a second job. So I'd do hair during the day and I'd have to bartend at night or be a waitress at night, just like getting by, making it through, whatever. That's actually how I met my husband is I was waitressing at night and he was a bartender at the
Oh,
restaurant.
okay.
Yeah, so that's, like, how we ended up meeting, but anyway, so already kinda had a lot on my plate there, but bridal just started getting, like, busier and busier, right? So it wasn't just my clients anymore, and a friend of mine reached out and she was like, "I have a friend who owns a bridal hair and makeup team, and she's looking for a hairstylist, and, like, I told her about you, and she really wants to meet you," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I wasn't really planning on getting more into bridal, but sure, like, I'll go meet her, whatever." So I went, met her, did some weddings, and at first I was kinda, like, getting paid as her assistant, but I
Hmm.
already had a full clientele, so I was kinda like, "I can't do this, like, I can't not work a
Yep.
busy Saturday in the salon to just be, you
Your
know."
assistant.
Yes,
Or to do the work, but to get paid the way I'm
yeah.
getting paid.
Exactly, exactly. So at first I was kinda like, "Yeah, I think this isn't it for me." But
Hmm.
then there was just, like, something in me that was like, "Stay." You know what I mean? Like, stay, like, push through, like, give it a little more time. So I was like, "Okay, I'll do a little bit more, I'll do a few more." So I ended up doing with her, this wedding. It was the wife of, like, she was marrying a baseball player. It was just this super over the top. It was the best day. We're at Mountain Shadows Resort in like, suite on the corner with the view of the mountain and they tipped well and it paid well and everything was like, this is what I want. That was the moment where I was like, I want this. This is it. It's like if you've ever dreamed of like luxury, sometimes I feel like we all put it in our mind, like that luxury, I have to be able to afford it. That's the life I want. I live in a life of luxury through my clients. Does that make any
No, absolutely. Vicariously through, you get to experience all their experiences.
Exactly. So I go to these amazing like resorts and like that I can't afford to go stay there, but I can come do your hair and makeup there. So it definitely like gave me kind of a life I dreamed of in a roundabout way.
I think it was early on because everyone now, you know, takes a hobby that they have and they try to make it lucrative, which I think, hey, more power to you.
Right.
But where it was like being able to have a clientele, because like with hair back then, I just have no, even photography, I'm like, I didn't have a maternity photo, like all of
Yeah.
the extra luxurious things that
Mhm.
people do now. I'm like, I didn't have any of that stuff. And when you start, I think it's interesting that you were so ready to just quit and like, no, but had you quit, you never
Mhm.
would have figured out this is what I want to do and that's the clientele I want.
Yes.
And I think a lot of, especially when it's an elevated, luxurious service that you want to provide, sacrifice comes with the package. And whether
Mhm.
it's just in the trenches until you finally build the clientele, like whatever it is, but I'm so glad you stuck it out. I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm so glad I stuck it out too because that was my pivot point, and then I dove in. I literally, like, immersed myself in bridal, and then that was the point where I was like, "I'm having to say no to weddings because I already have cut and color clients booked, but I know that cut and color isn't what I want to do right now," and I saw that because this was, like, post-COVID. So bridal Zona was just going crazy because we opened up for business way before other states did.
You did see, I'm like, that was such a long, it wasn't really, but okay. So you guys opened up and were able to service people
Yes.
again.
Like, way before other states, like, because
So
we
everyone was
had
getting married in Arizona.
yes, literally, who had weddings booked in, like, especially California, Washington, Oregon, they were just like, "Forget it, I'm not even gonna deal with that anymore, we're gonna go elope in Scottsdale," right?
So funny.
I know. So it just created this boom in Arizona, which was like the biggest blessing for us here because it made our bridal industry what it is now.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah.
when you dove in, like you had that experience at that place, did you stay with, because obviously you have your own brand, your own whatever.
Uh-huh.
Did you stay with that person or did you decide to open up your own everything?
Yeah, there was already kind of a lot like going on. Here's the thing, and I don't want to like bash this person, but like it's so good to work for other people, whether it's a good experience or a bad, because
Sure.
if it's a good experience, you're going to say, I want to take away this and utilize it in my business. And if it's a bad experience, you're going to say, that is something I never want to do in my own business.
And you didn't even have to upend your life to try and figure it out. You just saw what was working and what wasn't.
Exactly. And I feel like the biggest thing in my career, and I'm not trying to say like I'm this uber successful person or anything. I'm just saying like what worked for me was knowing when to leave. Every single time, knowing when to leave. Because a lot of times people will stay in a situation too long and you almost like miss your opportunity,
Yeah.
right? Being on a bridal team, you're not able to really brand yourself. You're not really able to advertise yourself because your work is getting advertised for that team.
Through
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you're marketing for them. It's very hard to market yourself. So I left the team I stayed long enough to get my bearings, like to really learn the ropes. That's what I
Right.
needed. I needed to really learn the ropes in bridal. And then I ended up joining a different team that was just like a very, very well-known name here
Mhm.
because I wanted to learn from them for one thing. And that's when I really started getting into makeup. And I kind of wanted that notoriety to say like I trained with this person, I worked with this person.
Well, it's apprenticeship. It's again
Yeah.
something I feel like
Yes.
we won't go into another tangent, but where people start in one area and they think they can skip the work and just go straight to whatever. I'm like,
Absolutely.
one, it's insulting. Two, why would you not want, like, apprenticeships and internships are there for a reason. And
Yes.
I am going to hire someone who has on the ground training for something. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Okay, so
Exactly.
you joined another team for the
Yeah.
experience, and did you leave soon, or was it a long term with them?
I fulfilled my contract, so it was a year. So,
I
yeah,
fulfilled my contract.
fulfilled my contract. Yeah, in case there's lawyers watching, I fulfilled my contract.
T's and I's are
Yes,
important.
exactly, but also, just to touch base on what you just said, you have to be humble enough to learn, and that is something I don't see hardly ever anymore.
No, I'm like,
ego.
The bar rescues and the ink
Mhm.
masters, and
Yes.
while, language or whatever aside, I'm like, if you're not gonna sit here and take it from Gordon Ramsay, who's actually just trying to instill something, and you
Mhm.
think you're better than, or you already know, that is such a rookie thing. Like, you better humble, like, touching on humility, I can't even express enough how that it's important to have it all the way around. But you learned a lot. Like, head down, keep your head down, ears open, and just balls to the wall. Just do it.
Well, that's the thing is like you can be very good at your craft naturally. Some people are. There's some to understand that you still have more to learn. You're never going to get better. What you are
Ever.
now, yeah, exactly. Like what you are now is always what you're going to be. But some people don't get that. But one of the biggest things, I mean, one of the best qualities to have in life is to be coachable, honestly.
Yeah,
And even
no,
my
seriously.
age. Yeah, like I was in my mid 30s at that point. And so for someone in their mid 30s to be like, I'm going to start over as like from bottom, like as like an apprentice, like learning from other people. Some people are like, "Oh, I'm too old for that. I'm not 20 years old anymore." You know?
But I'm
So,
like, so many people that, were told you graduate high school, you go to college, figure out what you want to do. I did not, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So the fact that you should figure it out by 20 something
yeah,
makes no sense. By the time you're 30, if you really have a drive and a hunger for it, you are going to start over. I think it
absolutely.
takes a specific person, but with age come wisdom. And if you still haven't figured that out,
Mhm.
and everyone, if I feel like the new kid, it means I have something else to learn. And I want to learn. I want to keep myself relevant. You should want to, be afraid of being the new kid again and do it anyway,
Yeah.
because that's where the magic is
Mhm.
forever. So you should always be learning, I think. But did you work on a team with people that were a little bit chip on their shoulder about that? About learning at all? Did you ever see that when you were working?
Definitely, like, I think on the second team I was on, I think the people that own that team saw something in me, and I think that was part of it. They saw the humility of me being willing to come in at 0, when they had other girls that gave them a lot of attitude about that.
Mhm.
So I don't wanna say, like, I got, like, favoritism because I don't feel like it was that. I feel like they knew that, number 1, I had the maturity to go in there and handle a job.
Mhm.
And, they knew that whatever feedback they gave me, I was gonna take it, and I was gonna take it even further and ask questions. So I did become like a master artist for them right away. So there was definitely girls who I could tell didn't like me for that reason, but there was also girls that were amazing and we all got along and learned a lot from each other. So, but you're always going to have that in life. That never bothers me. The thing that bothers me about situations like that is me, because I'm one of those people who, if I can tell someone doesn't like me, I don't know why I'm like this, but it's like I have to make them like me. Do you get that? Like,
I do get that. I think I am such just an oblivious person in
mhm,
general
mhm,
that I don't know. I've never had the need. I've never actually I understand it because I think I've dealt with it in other areas of my life. But as far as work goes, I'm like, I'm an island and that's fine. Like, but that's so interesting that you're like, just like me. I promise I'm likable.
right. Exactly, exactly. I'll show you. Let me show you how likable I can be.
I think because for the most part, just in personal like growth, it never has anything to do with me as to why somebody doesn't actually like me. Again, do the work. Once you love you, nobody bothers you at all. Honestly, and not like in a you don't bother me kind of way. No attitude, nothing. I'm sorry, not sorry that I bother you so much. You should go work on that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how I in general.
I think that
I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I think I've never actually had energy to put into that. Oh, but I totally get what you're saying. Did they ever come around and like you?
yeah, and it was fun. It was like totally after the fact. It was like after I had left and you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
they all follow me now. They're all cool with me on, social media, things like that. So yeah, no, no, no. We went full circle, but I am like a kill them with kindness kind of
Kind
person.
of person.
I'm not like afraid of confrontation by any means, but I'm not gonna be the one to bring it. If
No,
that
not
makes
at all. especially when you know there's not like a real problem other than they probably just don't know what it is about me that is so either likable or
Yeah.
why I got promoted first. And it instead of asking or
Mhm.
whatever, it's just this grudge. And I can appreciate someone even years later just owning their side of the street when it comes to bullshit. Because
Mhm.
if you know that we had a falling out and I totally I believe in actually forgiving somebody. So it's like
Yeah.
just own your side of the street. So I'm sure they told you stories about their own insecurity and that's why they didn't like you, which makes absolutely no sense. But girls, we're fun. We're
Oh,
so fun.
we're an interesting breed, aren't we? Yes.
We
Well, also
really are.
yeah, I also am I know I'm not old. I'm not saying that 40 is old, but I am older in a younger industry.
Okay. Yeah,
Does
no,
that
that makes sense.
Yeah, so you kind of you get a lot of both. You've got like your older artists that have been around for a long time, but you also have this flood of young artists and newer artists. And sometimes I just have to remind myself like I'm 12 years older than this girl.
Which is weird because our souls are still 18. So when I'm like, I'm not that much older than you.
Yeah.
Now I can tell when I'm talking to a 25-year-old
Ex-
because I'm
yeah.
like, oh, I have so many more years on you, but I still don't think it's a reason to like not be friends. I don't know. Like we can all be the different ages, but I feel like my mom went from being young to being a mom and there was no in between.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I can be friends with, I gravitate towards older people in general just because that's my industry, but yeah, that's interesting that yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're totally an old soul too.
Yeah. Oh no. Like I said, I've been 40 for a really long time. So once I actually am 40, we're gonna do something really fun to finally celebrate that birthday. But on the same lines of team building, because I know you said you were a part of a bridal team, and
Mhm.
that I think it's very Arizona specific. Maybe not. I don't know. I am so new because my background is in theater arts. I am more of a I can stage manage anything. I think I'm an okay at like I could dance, I could act, I could sing, but I loved producing something and putting something out there. That was more of what I like. So when I started, the camera was just my new medium for creating
Mhm.
something.
Makes
And when I took all my girlies on these dates, and I would say we are really all really close, but it's not like we always have to like hang out together. I feel like also this industry very specifically can be very lots of toxic positivity going on. I can't deal. I can't and I can see it coming from and I'm like, why do you behave this way? But anyway, a few of my artists, they gave me this question. So you come from it feels like your first experience in bridal was a team. But if you're a solo makeup artist and bridal is your thing, so what's important to you for how do you build a team? If you are like, I want to be able to take the 12 clients, but I can't do 12 clients,
right.
like just by myself. What do you have to say about team building in general? Anything that, another hair or makeup stylist should be aware of if they're wanting to do that?
So it all depends on like what your goals are. So I will say I definitely don't want to endorse teams, although I did start off on teams. Team
Hmm.
culture, in my opinion, I know I'm going to get hate for this, but I don't care. I'm speaking truth here. It's toxic. It's
Right?
so toxic. It's yes, you get experience, but in some ways it makes it harder for you
Okay.
to branch out, and you absolutely should at one point branch out, because if you don't branch out on your own and you stay on that team, you're going to miss your opportunity to build your own brand, and then all your brand is going to be is you on that team, and then you're kind of stuck. And what clients don't understand about these hair and makeup teams is that the price that they're paying, the majority of that money goes to the company. Their artists get a small part of that.
Okay.
And there's so many bridal teams that are like, they don't pay them travel, they keep the tips. So they're not even there at
No
the job.
wonder everyone's all irritated on this team then. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Okay, so then that's what you get. And the only what you get left with, because there's such a high turnover with teams for that reason, right? Like if I can book on my own, why would if I can book a wedding where I'm charging everyone 125, why would I keep working for you for $75?
Right. When
You're
I could just, I mean, I think there's something to be said for like if I'm a second shooter,
Yeah.
I'm not making the same amount of money because I didn't have to deal with the client.
Right.
I didn't have to edit any like, so I
Yeah.
get it, and my
Yeah.
girls, when they come in, I'm like, "What do you wanna be paid?" I'm trying to make everyone money. So I would say that I was an independent person who tried to create a team,
Yes.
but, like, you tell me what you wanna get paid, and that's what you're gonna get paid.
Well, see,
Kind of, you know? So how would you as, like, an independent makeup artist because, like, for the wedding that, I was in and you brought oh my gosh, I forget her name.
Erica. I brought Erica.
Erica, I was gonna say Beautyology.
Yeah.
Beautyology? I was like, I remember her handle. She was so sweet, and you guys were so fucking seamless together. It was beautiful, and I took that back, and I needed to tell my girls, I'm like, "It's possible. It can happen." So how do you maybe you're not, like, on a team as far as, like, this particular company is putting together a team, but I'm an independent makeup artist, and I want to build a team of girls that have the same work ethic and style, and how do we all and I'm not trying to take anybody's money, you know what I mean? How did you find, like, Erica? How did you even know you guys were compatible in that way?
So what we do, and when I say we, I mean myself and the girls that I exclusively work with, it's a network. So we don't refer to ourselves as a team,
Okay,
no leader, and we don't want it that way.
right.
We run things like a little differently than other people, but what we do works so well for us, so we stick with it. Uh, and so like my close network is myself, my friend Liz, who was like really the first person who I branched off with in bridal, and same thing, like her and I just clicked right away. We work so well together. Our timing works together, our personalities, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's a
Yeah,
whole experience. And like what you were saying with Erica, like Erica and I, like we're fun together with
right.
each other, right? So we're bringing like an experience because the banter and we're joking and
Well, and you are, and I've worked in a space where it's like, "Oh, you're not gonna talk? Uh-oh." Like, I should not leave any oxygen in that room. I do
yeah,
not stop talking, and neither does my makeup team. Like,
yeah,
we don't stop talking because you have to create
yeah,
that experience. I
yeah.
love that because I'm like, "Well, I don't know, you are creating this luxurious, elevated, you're the only woman you see in this chair today experience."
First of all, I love Kaylee so much, and she was the best person to deal with the situation she had to deal with that.
I didn't see her throw one fit, drop
No,
one tear. She was like, "We're just rolling with it." I'm like, "I brought bikinis. I did not bring anything for the snow. I did not bring" I'm like, my husband and I had to go shop. I was like and then the power. I'm
yeah,
like, she
yes,
was so composed,
I
so,
know.
like I'm like, "You go, girl. Do you need a cocktail yet? 'Cause I
Oh,
do."
we were here for her, I feel like. We're like, "Let's take that anxiety for you
Oh
here."
my
But
gosh, seriously, poor thing.
I know, but just to give context when people are watching this, on Kaylee's wedding day, like a huge snowstorm hit Flagstaff. It was like beginning of October, right?
It wasn't I had been here for her I think I had seen you 3 weeks prior for the bachelorette party, like, it was 100 degrees, and I'm like, "There's a what? There's a snowstorm
Yeah,
happening?
it was
What?"
just out of nowhere too. Because when I was we drove up to Flagstaff that morning, and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, like, the snow hit, and it just came pouring down, so the power went out, and we were out of power for hours.
Hours. It was dark in that room
Yeah, it was completely dark. We're working off a generator with a table lamp and 1 makeup light, and we're doing hair and makeup,
for
and, we
10
had
of us.
yes, I had my irons plugged into the generator too, and that was, like, all it could take. So we literally are doing hair and makeup completely in the dark. It was so chaotic, but I mean, we pulled it off, you
No,
know?
you guys absolutely did. You didn't add to the stress. If anything, it's when it like, okay, well, here we go. Like
Here we
I
go.
don't, and everyone looked. I think the lights came back on. I think everything back on by the time I was actually in the chair.
Yeah.
But it was so, like I said, you guys just so seamlessly worked through things. If you're wanting to build more of a just like a network of people that if you're going to have 12, I'm going to do a wedding and I can't do it all by myself,
Yes.
it's important to but how did you choose these people? So you had Liz,
Yeah,
who you
so
had worked with.
Yeah, so Liz I met, it's funny, the bridal company I was working with, the second one, her daughter was a model for me. We were like doing some training stuff. Her daughter came and modeled for me. Liz and I hit it off right away. And then we started working together like right away. So even when I was working for a team, I was still taking weddings on my own. I was still working with other people. I think
Hmm.
that was something me being a little bit older understood. Me being in real estate, I could read a contract maybe.
Some things.
Yeah, I understand, I think contracts, like, better than some people because 'cause we're artists, we don't typically deal with stuff like that as well. We love the art side, we hate the business side, it is what it
Right.
is. We just have to do it, but I understood contracts a little bit better and where the lines were, you know what I mean? What I could do, what I couldn't do. Sometimes people get on a team and they just go all in and they don't wanna take their own clients or sometimes they can't depending on what their contract says. So, I was still building. I knew I wasn't staying. So, I
Okay.
was building the whole time I was working with other people, and like I said, I did a year, that's what I agreed to, and then I never worked for a team again. So, yeah, so I was already working with Liz. I ended up meeting Erica through a mutual friend, and then
Okay.
just she's like, "Hey, I know we haven't met in person, but I need help on this wedding and everyone talks about you." I'm like, "Oh my God, everyone talks about you too." We drove to Flagstaff together, had never met before, had so much fun, figured out we knew so many of the same people, and then we just clicked and we started working together because people like liked us together too. Same with
Well,
Liz.
you guys are fun. You guys are so
Yeah,
much fun.
yeah, same with Liz. People like us together. They like we laugh all day. It's so fun. I met my friend Julia, who I now own the studio with through Erica. They were already
Okay.
friends working. So it's like everybody that is in my network are just people that I just kept branching out and meeting. And then it's like when you click with someone, like you bring them in. You're like, okay, we meshed. So it is trial and error too, because there's people
Sure.
yeah, there's people that I've worked with where I'm like, never again. You are so unorganized. I will never work with you again. And then when they reach out to me again, I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm booked.
Yeah, booked and busy forever. I guess that's my thing because the two I have worked with artists before, but they brand themselves.
Uh
So
huh.
I think it's maybe just how you communicate with the client. If they want your work for all 12 girls, which I think might just be something in us that is like it's a subconscious thing like well if they're booking me they want me, it's not even something that has been vocalized. How do you, because when Kaylee presented all of hair makeup, here are the prices, I wasn't like who's doing my makeup. I think it's more of it's in our own head that well if they want me they're expecting me.
Yes.
But so I guess it's just, I guess that's the thing I was trying to explain a little to them. I'm like, well, you guys have the same style. You guys have the same work ethic. You guys have never
Mhm.
actually worked together, but I would pair you guys together because I think you would mesh really well. And the only way to figure that out is to go on a date, I guess, or to just actually say, we're going to do this event together.
Exactly. And that it really is a big deal in bridal because whoever you pick, say I'm hired because I do both hair and makeup. So some jobs they hire me only for makeup, sometimes only hair. A lot of times they hire me for both. So I have that like versatility. So say I'm just doing a makeup wedding and there's 10 people, I do 5 and we'll say Liz does 5. Liz and our work is cohesive. So when you see all the bridesmaids standing together in a photo,
It should look like one
like
person
did
worked.
it.
Okay.
Exactly, or similar enough. You don't want to really, like, pair up with someone who does things so different from you that it's you look at a photo and it's like, Lacey did that, Liz did that, like, you can tell. So, that's the
Gotcha.
idea. It's just kinda like finding your groove, and then we also have a really good relationship as far as, like, we don't take money off the top. So, like, if whatever I'm charging, that's what I pay whoever's helping me. The whole
Gotcha.
amount because they're my first go-to and I'm their first go-to. So it's mutual. So I don't feel like I need to take some money because I'm doing all the communication with the bride because when they book me to help them,
It's that
they're
yin and yang, right? Like it's just
yeah,
we all do it for each other
exactly.
always. So, and I think that that would be my only thing is like, well, not even who's do like for me in studio, I'm not taking their cut. If they want to give me a better rate because I found the work, fine, but I very specifically upfront said, that's very lovely of you, but what do you charge? because
Right.
everyone's trying to make money. We are here to make money. We are here to put out the best product we absolutely can, but I'm not here to shortchange anybody.
Yes.
But is that so if you reach out to Liz or Erica and you're like, "Hey, I booked 12 girls on this day who's free." Is that just like how it goes? How do you communicate with these girls when you book work?
So a lot of times too, it'll just depend on, I have all this conversation with the bride before I reach out to them.
Okay.
And so I kind of get a feel for like what their wedding is like and then go from there. So I'll, reach out to whoever first, and if they're busy, then I go to the next person, then I go to the next person, but sometimes it'll just be like, "Oh, okay, like this wedding is close to this person's house. I'm going to reach out," or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or like Erica's she started working like a full-time job now. So usually I'm gonna go to other people, and then if they can't do it, then I go to her at this point because she's mostly busy. But
Right.
yeah, kind of have like we all have like an order, or maybe like one person we work with the most, so we always go to that person first, but then we go down the line of our network.
Right. Okay. So that's kind of how I do it because I'll consult with my clients and it really is just I love that I don't actually it's never picking and choosing based off of quality of work. It might be who can banter bullshit better with this client and they might have something in common. Something so small, but the work, I could flip a coin. Like I know that the work going into it doesn't it's going to be the same. So I think it's just us over my girls over at least makeup artists I've met because they'll be like, "Well, I was doing 2 of the bridesmaids and then there were 4 other," like, it was a big wedding and there were 5 makeup artists there and nobody knows each other, so it's just like that weird energy in the room, and I'm like, "How awkward for your clients." Like,
Yes.
I don't know. So I think some of our fears of, well, if they book me, don't they want me? Yes, but if you brought a team with you, they could assume that you were going to bring someone top quality. And I guess it's just not knowing how to pay someone, not knowing how to price, not knowing how to do all that stuff. So I was like, I'm touching on this today because I feel like Lacey's got it in the bag and I have lots of really great artists around here that would love to collaborate with each other for work, but they just don't know how. So, which is weird to me because I see you do it all the time. So,
I'm really glad you brought it up because like I was just talking to my friend Bailey, and she lives in a different area. She's like 2.5 hours away from us. But when I need one more person, I bring Bailey in and she just travels. So
mhm,
she got to work with my network before. So like we've done a wedding where it was me, Liz, Julia, and Bailey. And Bailey asked me the same question. She's like, "You guys are like a well-oiled machine. The way you all work together, you don't even have to talk to each other. You just look at each other, and that just comes with time. Honestly, we've done so many weddings together that we can read each other at this
mhm.
point. Really lucky in that aspect. But so a lot of people do ask me this question, like, how did you guys get here? How did you guys build this? I would say the biggest thing is like mutual respect. Like I said,
Sure.
with not people get so caught up in the nickel and dime, right? Like, okay, yeah, I want you to work with me, but I'm making 200 and you're making 100, right? So you're already starting it off not about
Bad.
the experience. Yeah,
No.
about the money. That's how you're starting it off, is like, it's just about the money. It's just about the money. You have to have the attitude of like, I'm going to invest in you and then you're going to invest in me. And that's mutual trust and mutual respect. And I think that's how we've built what we have. And like, I am like so proud of what we have. And I know the other girls are too. Like, we're very lucky that we've built this. And there's like that small circle, and then there's a bigger circle and a bigger circle.
Sure, absolutely.
And it just like trickles out, and I have a lot of people that maybe I don't get to work with them all the time because they're very busy and booked, but if I'm busy, I'm referring them to
You're
you.
referring out.
Exactly. So when you have this attitude of like, I don't want more friends, I don't want more network, I'm this, that, or the other,
You
you're deflecting instead of inviting, you're gonna hurt yourself down the road, because
oh, absolutely.
there's gonna come a day when you need help and no one wants to help you.
They're gonna remember that time that you were like, "No,
Yeah,
thanks." And
exactly.
for what? Because you know new friends? I think sacred space, don't invite, wolves into the den, but never I mean, you don't know until you try either,
Exactly.
so that's and I think I'm not a makeup artist, but I had to build that way because
Mhm.
I'm like, we have to be able to do this together, and your work better be really, really good. And there's so many makeup artists that I'm like, I think this is how you do it, but I'm gonna talk to a professional later. So let me ask her how she does it. But it's not reinventing the wheel. It's just
No.
finding the people that you really get along with. There's the mutual respect. And like I said, the price thing to me,
Yes.
if they wanna give me a deal because I found them 3 clients, okay, I'm not taking a finder's fee. It's all wrapped like, my pricing, I can sleep at night, and you are built into that price. So, if it change every year, I'm like, "Okay, new year, new price," because it should be every
Exactly.
year, at least a little bit. What are you, and that's just how I go, but I'm like, I really want Lacey's take on it because I know you work with people. You've worked in a very strict one-year contract team where everyone's kind of miserable, and you've built your own network of team, even though you guys aren't like a studio team that way necessarily.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I do the same thing as far as boudoir. I have like one artist that we have a relationship. She's a boudoir photographer, amazing. And I give her a discount on what I charge, like for hair and
Right.
makeup. For the same reason. I appreciate that she chooses me because there's a million hair and makeup artists in our area. A million. She could go with anybody. But we're friends and she likes my work and she knows that I'm never gonna be late. She's
You're gonna
never had
Yeah,
like
I'm like, my worst fear is,
Mhm.
"Sorry, I can't." And I'm like, "You don't want me doing your hair and makeup. Like, you do not."
Literally. Unfortunately, like, our industry, like, as artists, like, artists can be flaky.
And I'm like, "That is not how are you building your brand that way?" And then posting on your Instagram that you had the longest, drunkest night out, and that's why you're not there. Nobody's sick, nobody's dying, you just don't
Yeah.
feel like showing up.
Mhm.
And then you go post it.
The
Like,
audacity.
if you're gonna be an asshole, don't
Yeah,
post about it.
I know.
Like, don't I've never had any of my girls leave me hanging. I love everyone I work with, but
That's so
I've heard the horror stories, especially like, how do you do that? Or clients will tell me. I had a client the other week and she's like, "Yeah, when I got married, I booked this person and then for her wedding did not show up.
oh my
Didn't
gosh.
did until
Yeah,
like the day after. And then
it's
she knew where he was based on his social media, even though what he told her was not what he was actually doing. I'm like, I can't. Why? How do people think that that's okay? I just don't understand.
no, and now there's, like, scammers, like, people who will take deposits from people, they know they're not gonna show up, they ghost them, like, we've had that go on, and I hate it so much because then you get, brides that are scared, and then, they're texting you over and over again, "I just wanna make sure you're gonna be." I'm like, "Yeah,
And
look,
that's like, and I would never have known that that was out of not actually, that's just out of fear. That's not out of them being type A, but like, chill. Of
yeah."
course I'm going to be there. But if you've had
Yeah,
a bad experience before,
right, uh-huh, exactly, yeah, or I've had brides book me completely last minute because that's what happened to them, like, their makeup artist or their hairstylist canceled on them, like, 2 weeks before the wedding or just ghosted them, took their deposit and just ghosted them.
I
So
can't. Like, if
yeah,
you cancel, I would say refund that. I could not live with myself if I knew that if I wasn't dying or something and I couldn't reschedule, here's your
mhm,
money. Like,
yeah.
I could never.
Yeah, I had and people have asked me this before, like, "What happens if you can't show up?" I literally do so many weddings. Slower this year, but last year I think I had 96. The year before that I did 92. So I mean, I'm
There are
literally
52 weeks in a year.
yes, exactly, because there's
That is so many.
it's wild, it's wild. On a busy year, I will do weddings like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a week, like during October. Like I said, a lot slower this year. It mellowed out a lot. We were still kind of like in a peak there, but that's a lot of weddings. And out of all the weddings that I've done in the past like 5 years that I've been like full time bridal, I have only missed one wedding. And it was one of those, when you get like the stomach flu and it hits you at like 3 a.m.
Yep, and you wake up and hope you make it to the bathroom.
Literally, and you can't even, like, move, much less, like, go do anything because you cannot like, you're so sick. That happened to me one time, which is I feel like everybody's, like, worst nightmare, right?
It
Like, we
is.
all anxiety about that potentially happening to us at one
Yes.
point. So it happened one time. Luckily, Erica was able to go handle it and take over for me, so somebody still went to her
I was
wedding.
gonna say, 'cause see, like, and had you not been that, like, kill 'em with kindness, be
Yeah,
very just whatever to people, like, you knew that you had girls that had your back in your back, like, that you could pull out of your back pocket and they're like, "I got you. It's fine. Don't worry about it."
Exactly, exactly, and even though my contract states that, if I'm not able to make it, I will send a replacement, even though that's in my contract, she did say, like, "Can I have my deposit back just because you're not the one who ended up doing it?" And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, because I feel
Fair.
horrible about it." You know what I mean? I know some people are like, "No, my contract says this." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I was like, "You know what, girl? I feel horrible about it. I wish I was the one to do it," especially because I, like, really hit it off with this girl too, and I was excited to do her wedding. So I did. I refunded her deposit. No
And
big deal.
that's just good f that's just in good faith, that's just in good
Yeah.
character, that's and I mean, because now she has to pay someone. I get it, I totally, like I said, I'm like, even if it's in the contract, because mine is very much the same, like, if I'm in the
Yeah.
hospital and I'm dying,
Yeah.
that's the only time I'm not, but it's non-refundable, it's non-refundable. I would refund that so fast, like, you
Yeah.
can't I do not want that over my head,
That's
and I
where
just feel like it's right because now someone else has to get paid for the full, like, I don't know. So
yeah.
I totally
Yeah.
agree with that. So that's really good advice. I wanted to make sure I touched on that. So your journey is, "I'm not gonna do it because it's a family business," but you were secretly like, "Well, it makes sense. I love this."
Yeah.
Teamwork, team building. You went to Paris Fashion Week last
I
year, Miss
this
Teal. Was it
yeah,
this year?
it
Oh my
yeah,
God, it was this year. New York
it
was you're doing New York Fashion Week too, though, next week.
yeah, I leave Monday.
Yeah, I'm like, I could, I was like, no, no, she has Fashion Week next week. I have to do this week.
Yeah. I know, right? You're like,
But
what day?"
how do you go from, and I mean, everything at home and everything is great for you, and I'm so glad you were booked and busy, and but runway, I mean, same, but different. Who did you know? Who did you talk to? Who saw your work that was like, I want her? How
So,
does that even happen for you?
yes, I'm so happy we're talking about this because people ask me this all the time. Like, how
Sure.
because it's like a very exclusive thing. It is very there's no you can't just Google it and figure it out.
Right.
Like, there's
Exactly. That's why I'm like, there's some secret sauce here. There's some information here that she has that people are like gonna be listening to.
So here's the thing with Runway. This is what makes it difficult. To get hired on to teams, you have to have some experience, right? But
Hmm.
then how do you get runway experience when you can't get hired on without experience? So
Yeah,
it
like
gets
it's that
hard.
double-edged sword of, I need the experience, but I can't get hired for the experience.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So the way that I went about it, I knew I wanted to do runway. I've known this forever. I love editorial and I'm always trying to do something new. I'm always trying to
Sure.
reinvent. I can't stay still. I'm one of those people. I just can't I'm happy with what I built, but I
Like,
can't
I
ever stay
built it and now it's time to kick back. Like, no.
never, never. I can't. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't. But anyway, so I knew I wanted to get into runway. So I started off just following every production company I could find, diving into this, watching what they posted. And what happened was a girl who was a team lead for one of these production companies posted, um, I have I have a spot left on my team. So I reached out to her. We did an interview over the phone. She offered me the spot, but when you get on with a production company, and it's different for everyone. This is where it gets tricky too. All production companies are different. But usually when you're coming on with a production company, you're going to pay a production fee.
Right. You're gonna
So
invest in this experience or
exactly.
whatever.
So people ask me that all the time. Oh my God, do they pay for your flight? Do they pay for your hotel? Do they do all this? There's not money in runway. It's not like that. Nobody is out here doing runway to make money or get rich, right? Nobody is doing that. You're doing it to say you did it. You're doing it for, I hate to say the word clout, but almost like
No,
the
I was gonna
clout.
say for the clout, for the
Yeah,
experience, for the exposure, for the what when you start think I'm like, I would think of it as when you started your business and you just took the clients that you could take, you experience things on your own dime. We're starting over in something absolutely new, and this is the time I'm putting in to get to wherever this will take me.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not to say that you can't get paid for these jobs eventually because you can, but you have to like work your way up. And a
Sure.
lot like I remember when I was going to Paris and people were like, "Well, what shows are you doing like Dior?" Cuz I'm going to be really honest. I'm glad we're diving into this. This has been the hardest thing since I got back from Paris is my life has been so I've felt so fulfilled, but it's turned very lonely. And that is
Sure.
Yeah, that is what's gonna happen, like, when you get to those if you have something other people want, unfortunately, that's just what happens, and people that are your friends all of a sudden,
Oh, they're cheerleaders until you make it and do it. Fill in the blank with whatever you're doing. And
exactly.
then you look around and it's like, "Oh,
Yep.
like, where did y'all go? You were my cheerleaders a month ago," you
Yes,
know?
exactly. And you start hearing things that people are saying about you, but it's kind of what you touch base on. That's a whole nother journey with like finding the peace in that. And I feel like I'm in a good place with that now. At first it was hard, especially because you go do these like amazing things. Like you spend a week in Paris and let me tell you, you will never feel cooler in your whole entire life than walking around with a badge on at a fashion week.
Absolutely, like a press pass for something like that. I was living vicariously through you. I was like, "This is so cool. This I'm not even the one here. This is so cool."
And so it's funny because, like the people that I have, I'm very transparent. I don't try to bullshit anybody. I'm not an influencer. I don't try to like, make things look like one way when they're really another way. Like when people ask me about this, I'm like, yeah, like no, I did have to pay a production fee. Like that is how you get your foot in the door. That is absolutely how you start. You're going to have to start somewhere where you pay a production fee, and then once you work your way up the ladder, you can either get an agent and your agent can negotiate, like your contracts
Mhm.
for you, get paid and get you like higher end deals, or you just keep networking until like you
Well,
get
and to
there,
me,
right?
it's like runway. It's just like it's a production. It's a movie set. It's that you are producing something, and
Yes.
just because you are the best where you are, like it's run the exact same way. Like there are
Yes.
interns on set. There are people there just putting their work out there to put their work out there. That's it. So, but
Exactly.
I don't know why most people don't either understand it or would have some sort of like weirdness about you for doing it, even if it's something that they want. Like, I don't get the you go from everyone's thinking it's so cool to no friends, like, or not no friends, but you know what I mean? Like, wow, nobody wants to like, that's just so bizarre to me because we need each other so much. And
Yeah.
I don't, it's them missing out on you. And it can be a very lonely thing, especially when it, or like you have like your two best friends in your corner always, right? But they can't always be there for you. So it can be a very lonely experience. But that is interesting because here you are international. I would assume you're more friends, and here you are just like, nope, I got back home and my world shrank a little bit because everyone was just like turning their nose at whatever.
Yeah. And I think the reason it's hard for you and I to understand because we're not like that. We're cheerleaders. We're very
We
much
are,
cheerleaders.
I'm like, it is my job to hype
Hype.
in my studio and not just for my clients. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've only been her friend for 11 months, but I'm so proud of you for that is
Thank
so
you.
amazing. I'm like, she probably paid an accent. Like, I think I have in the 5 years, I know how things work in general. I'm like, wonder how much she had to pay to do that. Like, you
Yeah.
think of, or bands going on tour to open for other big bands, they
Yeah.
paid six figures to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a lot of time and money to do things that are big, grandiose things for the first time. It just
Yeah.
is. So
And the way that I looked at it was I had been looking into hiring a content creator,
mhm.
and I'm like, okay, I can pay the same amount to do this whole experience that I would pay a content creator to get me content, which is like staged content,
Right.
or invest the money in this experience and have like real, authentic.
Content,
And I,
real B-roll, which I think I would love to see more so than the pose. Like, I don't know. It's always like fake candid stuff, right? Which is important too.
yes,
But I loved your B-roll. I love that I knew you were the other person. You were the person on the other end of your phone posting this stuff. That's what I have an issue with social media and like celebrities. And I'm like, that they're not sitting around they might be, but that someone is keeping up for them. This isn't them doing this. So I love that I knew that you were the one taking pictures of your cappuccinos every single day. That I was like, I want to go. But see, even I'm like, that would be so fun. That's something I would do for free. Like, who needs a photographer while they're there? Like, that would be so fun. So then you came back from Paris, things were
yes.
little, and you were okay. I love that. I'm like, you get back centered, you are whole, I'm fine. Things will turn, but then you're like, New York Fashion Week. I'm like, what?
Well,
So,
yeah. And I want to touch base on this real quick too.
yes, absolutely.
So for one thing, I don't know if you've seen that post that always goes around that says like, competition happens at the bottom and community happens at the top. So when you're working backstage at a fashion show, you have to understand like it's very much leave your ego at home because you're in a room full of people who they're all the best where they came from.
And you
Everyone came
cannot afford that bullshit at that moment.
exactly. But what's funny is it's not like that at all. They were the most I there was a point I had where we did this show, it's called Hair Couture, and it's like a hair showcase. So it like gives the artist like free reign, create what you want, and we're gonna showcase just hair. It's the funnest show that you do at Fashion Week. It's so fun. So, anyways, we're doing Hair Couture and I'm standing there and I'm looking around at what everyone created. And I just had this moment of like just overwhelming gratitude and thinking like, this is some of the best hair I've ever seen, and I'm in this room,
Yeah.
right? Like I get to I get to stand shoulder to shoulder with these amazing, incredible artists, and it was just like overwhelming, you know? And so, and like I said, they were supportive and we had the best conversations in Paris. Like it wasn't, we were all sitting around gossiping about something. We were literally at tables talking nonstop business and everybody is like, well, this is what works for me. And cool. Like I love that. Like tell me how you would handle this. And we're just collaborating and like pouring into each other. And it was like one of the most fulfilling things I have ever done in my entire career, without a
And
doubt.
well, and that was the prize from that. I didn't get paid all this money for my time and effort, but what you took away from those
Priceless.
rooms and those people, you can't nobody can ever take that from you, and you can't, when would that ever have happened again? But I'm so glad that at least, the people, everyone in their top, I am the top of wherever I'm from, could, and because the people that just want to, the amount of names that come out of your mouth, like the bullshit that people talk, especially in this industry, I'm like, well, you're still down here doing that while I'm over here doing, like, look at yourself and what are you doing to keep yourself there. So I'm just really glad that it wasn't that for you, that it wasn't like I came all the way to Paris and I'm gonna hang out with these people and they just want to like talk shit. Like everyone had that come to Jesus moment of like, did you guys just feel that? Like that's that you can't get that anywhere else. So that's amazing.
And I've created like really great friendships from people that I've met doing shows, and so I'm grateful to have them because they get it too. I don't know that they feel at the same level that I do here because Arizona is just competitive. It's just so there it's oversaturated, so it's
Right.
really competitive and it gets really catty, but also and they warn you about this like before you do so many meetings leading up. Like there's so many meetings involved in these, and they're like, just letting you know there's a thing called a post-show depression. And oh my God, girl, it's so real. It's so
So
real.
real.
You live this life for a week that it's like not your real life, right? You
It's your
wake up
Carrie
and
Bradshaw life. Like you were
exact
in Paris doing the damn thing.
yes, exactly. And you're surrounded by designers and press. I mean, we're backstage and Rolling Stone is walking around with their camera crew. Like it's just this so surreal experience. And then you come back home and everything feels shitty.
You're like, I
Like,
don't even know how to explain it. It's just, well, you
yes,
lived on literally cloud nine for
yeah,
a week.
totally. So like you just and I hear people talk about this a lot like that's kind of how you'll start to feel when you feel like you like have outgrown certain
Hmm.
things or circumstances like you don't feel like you fit in anymore,
Hmm.
and you really kind of go through that. So then after Paris, I got the opportunity to do a show in Dubai with a totally different production company, and it was the same thing. I mean, Dubai is like
Well,
insane.
you did go to Dubai too.
Yeah, I did Dubai. Yeah, so and then same thing, like, everything is a luxury in Dubai. It doesn't matter what it is. The bathrooms are luxurious in Dubai. Like,
Taking a
literally
shit is the best thing ever over there.
seat heated, okay? Like, it
My
is literally
God.
a whole nother experience. And then same thing, like, so you live this, but it's not your life. It's not really, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
I guess it is in a sense, but you live for a whole week like that. And then you come back home and
It's
I'm always ready to be home. Like I don't want people to take it that way. I'm always ready to be home. It's so hard being away from my kids. And definitely couldn't do any of this if my kids were younger.
no, not at all. So it's just a new season of your life being able to go do all these things.
Yes, and I've raised, like, very well, oh my god, my daughter especially, she's She's, like, staring at me. She's fiercely independent. So, like, my kids cook better than I do, you know what I mean? Like, they're independent. They can do everything on their own. If my kids were still little, like, I could not I never I would have had to say no. I never could have done these opportunities, but other than that, it's hard to come back and do, like, what you were doing before
Before
after.
this magic that you created a week ago.
Exactly,
No, that
exactly.
that would be such an insane, like, high to ride, and
Mhm.
then it's almost like, if I could just take my family with me, I'd be
Yes.
cool.
I probably back.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't. You would just be a
I wouldn't.
traveling family, which is,
Yes,
how some people live, I'm sure. And it's biologically predetermined that you watch your kids and being near them is like a thing. I would still My kids are older too, but I'm like, I'm going away this weekend and I'm like, but I'm gonna miss my little twin. Like, I need the
right?
time away and then I'm fine after 45 minutes. And then it's like, oh, I miss my just doing life with my people. So
I
I
know.
totally get that. But I've never ridden a high quite like that. I can't even imagine. I just live vicariously through you. But Dubai happened, and now did you get approached again about New York? Is that how that happened?
Yeah, so I kinda was given, a choice between, like, Milan or New York, which I'm glad I went with New York because, the company I'm working for ended up pulling out of Milan. So
Oh, okay.
they're to Paris again, in a couple of weeks instead of Milan, so I'm kinda glad I chose New York. Plus, I've never actually been to New York before.
Really? East Coast, hey.
So this will be my first time going. So I am glad I chose New York. It's always such a wild ride. Like literally production text me this morning and they're like, "Hey, you're doing makeup too now. So bring your kit, bring your brushes." So it's fashion is wild. It's everything changes all the time. It's chaos. Like you might get pulled to another show, you might get pulled to another cut. Like it's you just have to be like prepared for anything and
You are Lauren Conrad on the Hills when she was interning for Teen Vogue. It seemed a little crazy, but that's real. That's actually just how it is.
I tell people like the Devil Wears Prada is so accurate. It's so freaking accurate. So like when I talk about like how nice like all the girls are, like the team, like the artists are very, very nice. Production will yell at you the same way, like
That
like
Meryl Streep is looking at you in that movie. Like, just
literally like if you ask the wrong question, they will literally like be like, "Are you stupid?
like, there
You
is no holding hands here. Figure it
know
out.
and you can get fired right then and there over anything. Anything. Like if they told you to wear a certain thing, like if you have uniform and you show up not in uniform, like you're getting fired. Like that's it. You're going home. Like and I love that. I thrive in that because it what it creates is like the highest level of professionalism.
And you bring that back with you. And now I am no longer settling for, maybe I was settling for this, that, and the other, and no
Yeah.
more. Like, how am I supposed to create this elevated experience for clients or what I'm doing and still accept this down here? Like, no.
Yes. That is a transition. Definitely that's so I know you probably know like astrology and all that. So this year is like the year of the snake.
Okay, I
And
do
so
not, but you're going to educate me. So it's the year of the
okay.
snake. Okay.
I don't know that deep. I'm not like other people. I can't like look at you and be like, "Oh, you're a Virgo." I'm
And
not like
people are
that.
like, yeah. And I'm like, sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, yes.
yeah. No, I don't know in depth, but I know that this. I don't think it's like astrology. I think it's Chinese New Year, right? Is it Chinese New Year?
I don't
Okay, now I'm gonna.
know.
I don't know.
Your
I'm
daughter would
definitely.
probably know. I don't know. We're
I'm
old.
as soon as we get off this call, I'm gonna look it up. So it is the year of the snake, and the year of the snake represents shedding your
Okay.
skin. And becoming like the new you. And I have felt that so hard this year. It's not even funny. And it's growing pains. It's hard and it sucks sometimes. And it is hard to, I'm having a hard time finding my place again here in Arizona is really where, when I'm there,
You are
I feel
there.
I feel like me. I feel like myself. I feel like everything I've ever wanted to be. I feel like everything I was meant to do. And then I come back here and now I'm kind of struggling like with where I am. So I've just poured myself into serving my clients. And that's like where I find peace with it all is like putting everything else aside. And I just want to I want to start the morning off like perfectly for my bride. Right. Because I'm the
Right.
first vendor of the day. I'm the first person that
You're
she's going to
setting
deal.
the tone for her day.
Exactly, and so I've really just poured myself into I'm not worried about what any other artist thinks about me right now. I'm not worried about what everybody else in the industry is doing. I don't care about your content. Honestly, I find Instagram to be almost like insufferable anymore. I have like my 5 people I interact with, and everything else I'm just like, it's so mundane, it's so repetitive, it's the same things over and over. So I've learned to block it all out and just like
Mhm.
focus on what's important. And that's just like my relationships with my people who I know are my people and giving like the best I can give to my clients. And that's just like where I'm at. And I'm at, I'm just at so much peace with all of
No, and
that.
that's so good.
Yeah.
When influencers or just because I wouldn't call myself that either, but when people just come up in their industry and they actually have something intelligent to teach and to say, right now, the theme that I keep seeing, and I follow certain people to keep me sane. Like I just like you're doing fine. This is nonsense. It's like
Yeah.
we all know that social media is just something we have to like cringe through. And I'm like, but do we really? Can we fix this? Because
Yeah.
everything you see me post on my business page is scheduled, thank God. But when I do get on there, I'm just like, this is mind numbing. Like I can't, it's not, and it's not real. Like none of it is real. Like if you see any part of my life, it's, and anyone, like it is what I want you to see.
Yes,
Nobody
exactly.
either, and now it used to be nobody shows, the bad days. Well, now people are faking that too. I'm like,
Oh my god.
why you thought to set up your camera and cry real quick? Like,
Yeah. No, yeah.
I unless I know that another person took that photo or that video, I can't with you because now you're what? Now it's not real. It's just not real.
Exactly.
So, and it is
Yeah.
very, I wouldn't even say it's lonely at the top. Like, ain't no top. It can just be very lonely, especially if you're not buying into the mundane wheel that everyone else is just treading. And I saw something, it was like, it's cringe, just do it anyway. And I'm like, I felt that way about reels when they first started coming out. I'm like, so these grown ass women are making a fool of themselves
Girl. Yeah.
for what? Like
I
just
know.
to be trending on social. I get it for your business. Once I became a business owner, I was like, okay, there's some funny ones that I can like. I rarely still have I done them. I'm just like, I can't, it's cringy to my soul for like, it's intuitively not something that is normal. Like, I can't do this. And I'm not the only one who feels that way, but nobody says it except for now. I
Totally.
feel like people are finally starting to be like, if it's cringy and it's trending, do it anyway. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like,
No.
I'm barely posting trending audio with my shit now. Like, I can't
Yeah.
jump to the
No.
reels, but
If I have to dance for you to hire me, don't hire me. I'm fine.
and if I am dancing for you to hire me, you probably shouldn't hire me. Like,
Please.
I'm also like, why would the funny ones? There's certain funny ones that I see, and I'm just like, oh, that's funny. Like my wax girl, we were going back and forth, and it was literally like this video of this wax girl, like rushing out to a car that pulled up, legs spread, 30 seconds, we're done. Like, this is what your man thinks you do when you go get your Brazilian, like how fast it is. Shit like that is funny and creative, but like, there's some things that I'm like, what are you doing? What are
No,
you
I know.
doing?
Like, you still have to live with yourself.
Yeah, like I still have to look at myself and my husband and my kids every single day. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. But I feel like, especially when you first start, you're trying everything.
Yeah.
I did not do that. But I feel like I'm finally in a groove of like, if I have 10 people like my photo, I'm still booked and busy. Like your likes and and whatever your interaction on Instagram does not
Mhm.
hold your value as whatever you do. So I'm also like, I'm okay. If people are,
Yeah.
and most of your clients are the clients that are not interacting with you, quite honestly.
Yeah. Exactly. And just a follower is not a client most of the
No,
time.
no. And a follower, half the time you see people liking people's things, and it's like, why did you
Yeah.
like that? You were literally talking so badly about that person 5 seconds ago. So I'm like,
Yeah.
don't get stuck on that stuff.
Yes, the only reels that I've had that have done, like, okay, I don't even wanna say good 'cause they've done, like, okay. The people who comment are, like, these creepy men that come out
Yeah,
of nowhere, and I'm
yeah.
like, "I don't even want this. I literally I don't even
I
want."
don't want it. I don't need to do it. I don't know. And yeah, I'm like, I don't know how much I trust people that actually put time and effort into that stuff. Like,
I know.
or you're just a lot smarter because old dog, new tricks. Like, it just also isn't a thing
Yeah,
like TikTok. I'm
yeah,
trending on TikTok and I'm not on TikTok. I'm like, cool. I don't know what that means, but great. I'm so glad. Like, I have clients that will go on their TikTok and I'm like,
yeah,
but I'm like, I watch reels like a normal person filtered through Instagram 3 weeks later.
same.
That's just how I watch my content.
Yep. I cannot add one more in my life. I know TikTok is probably a great tool, everyone says it is. I cannot handle one more thing, so no TikTok
No.
for me.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I am on TikTok. I created like a business page and out of that page, a personal page. And then I tried to shut them down, but I can't shut down one without shutting down the other. So I'm like, forget it. It's just staying there. I don't know how to take it down, but I'm not
Yeah.
on it ever. And I
Yeah.
probably, it's, if it says in my bio that I don't check this, please take me at my word. I do not check
Oh my
this.
god.
Like,
I don't read.
no, they don't. And that, quite honestly, if people follow, because I have autoresponder on Instagram, which annoys the shit out of people,
Mhm.
but whatever. If people
Yeah.
are really trying to inquire about working with me and they actually click on the link and go down the trail I have set up, that is a test, my friend. If you can't even do that,
Mhm.
I don't know if I want you as a client.
Nope, exactly, exactly. We're off to a bad start already.
Already, my God. Well, I know you have an 11 o'clock deadline, and so do I because I haven't even packed for this weekend. But is there anything we haven't talked about that you would like to sprinkle in or anything that you've got going? I know you have Fashion Week coming up. I'm gonna tag the crap out of you so that people can follow you. And we didn't talk about how you teach, but I know that you do teach classes too. Do you have
Yeah, I
anything
teach.
like that coming up? Do you have anything scheduled?
I don't have anything scheduled right now. My friend and I have been talking to a salon in Chicago about us traveling out there to teach a class. So I think once I kind of got to get through busy season and then start doing class. I do the classes more so in like our slow season because it's a lot of work putting
Yeah.
a
And you don't
together
strike me as the type of person to like half-ass anything. Like it is my whole ass or it is nothing.
the whole ass, all the ass. Yes,
The
exactly.
whole ass. No,
The
and I'm
whole ass.
like, I've seen people make money and it's just like, what is this? I couldn't,
Yeah.
like, it's why this podcast took me so long. I'm like, I can't take really beautiful pictures and put out subpar video content. Like, I just, for me, I can't.
Not who you are. Yeah,
No, it's not.
absolutely.
And that's why I'm like, it's coming 3 years later. Here it finally is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It was worth it. It was worth the wait.
It
This
was
was so
I'm so glad that we just did it. I'm like, oh, she's busy. I should just ask her if she wants to do it. I'm like, no, I do so much. I'm better when I have 20 things to do in my day because I
yeah,
just boom, boom, boom.
'cause
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So you have New York Fashion Week next week. Are you working
Yep,
with
and then
anyone that you know you've worked with before or
yeah, some of the girls that I've done Paris with are gonna be there, and then one of the girls that I did Paris and Dubai with is gonna be there. So,
fun?
actually, no, 2 of the girls I did Paris and Dubai with were just, like, not all on the same teams, but, yeah, so it'll be a reunion, so that's always, like,
Yay.
so fun too. Seeing everybody again and working with everybody again. So I'm really excited to see my friends. And then, yeah, once I get back from New York, I'll be officially starting in my new studio. And I am
We didn't
starting to
even talk
offer
about your new studio. I'm like,
it's
she has
okay.
a new studio, by the way, people.
New studio. I'm gonna offer color again. So I'll do color,
Yay.
bridal try, one-on-one makeup, stuff like that. All of that I'll do at my studio now. But that's basically it. I say like, oh, that's it. Like it's like
No big
no big
deal.
deal. Right?
But
Just
it took a
for
lot of life it took a lot of learning how to get to it's no big deal, like, I got it now. So that's but it's I feel like people gloss over the messy part that is part of it and really honing in on that. So it's like, yeah, I hate when people must be nice. No, it must be a lot of hard fucking work is what it must be. Must be nice. I swear if I hear that again, I'm like, good thing I don't have a mouth because I'm like, I would not have any friends. No, my friends
or
are great, but it's, oh, must be nice.
yeah,
I'm like, what does that even mean?
I
Like,
know, seriously.
I
Or
don't know how to thank you. Like, I don't know.
I love when people are like, "Oh, so you only work weekends?" I'm like, "Bitch, I work all day of every day is what I work, but thanks."
24/7. I do not clock out. It is
Yeah,
me all the time. Like, yeah, just weekends, but sure.
yeah.
Just the
Yeah, sure,
weekends.
we'll go with that. That sounds great. We'll go with that. Yeah, but
All
anyway,
the
it was
time.
so good to see you, friend.
Yes, so good to see you and get time with you. I'm like, if we schedule something on our work calendar, we'll make it happen because I'm always like, it's just
Mhm.
easy. It's and work is just I live and breathe this just like you do. So I'm like, let me see if Lacey wants to hop on.
I'm so glad you
I know this was so much fun. I'm going to edit out probably this part because now we're just chit chatting. But if you have any, I'll ask specifically, but because I do create these videos to be a lot more fun and actually interactive, if you have any like videos or photos, stole one of your photos from your page. I'm like, I didn't even ask her. If you have
go
any
for it.
photos, because I want people to actually see you in this video because I can put things onto the screen. So I'll remind you, I know you're busy, unless you're like, just steal from my Instagram, which is usually what people have told me to do. Then I will do that. But I want to make sure I showcase you and all of that good stuff. So, and once this is done, this is a video podcast episode. We're both literally in the same app. So I'll have it all done. I'll send you some highlights because if you want to be able to use this for any sort of content, I say, why just use it? So I will
Okay,
go
perfect.
ahead and get it done. I know you have to go, but it'll create little clips for me right now. So I will send you something today just so that you have it.
Awesome, and then let me know, like, at what point I can post it because I know that you are gonna, like, announce things at some
I've
point.
announced and I put it on my story last night on my boudoir page. It was a clip that I took from another episode I did. So anything I send you now, feel free to post whenever. And once it's actually coming out, I'll send you the link probably via email so that you can download
Okay,
it and then you can share it whenever.
awesome.
All right?
Oh my god, I love and yeah, take anything off my Instagram, I don't care, but if I get something cool, especially, like, backstage or something, I'll send it to you.
Yes. Anything like that, please let me know. But otherwise, have fun moving the rest of this weekend and have fun in New
Thank
York if I don't talk to you before then.
Okay, perfect, and then let's set up, like, another day we can just Zoom and chat. Just catch up.
Yes, please. I would
Yes.
so love that whenever you have downtime or your season is over. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, babe.
Alright, bye, you too.
Bye.